America Meditating Radio Show, we collect wisdom, inspire each other, and empower hearts 24/7. Hi, I'm Sister Jenna. Join me and guest on Blog Talk Radio as we amplify stories that compel us to be more for ourselves and everyone else around us.
The Miracle Medical Clinic is a clinic that has been providing quality healthcare services to the Houston area since 1996. In a comfortable environment, they are dedicated to helping you live a healthy lifestyle for years to come. For more information, please call 713-464-0236 or visit us at our website at www.miraclemedicalclinic.com. The Miracle Medical Clinic, where preventive health care is waiting for you. Are you in need of a tech service company that's going to deliver the best solutions for your business? Then Attronica is your solutions headquarters. Here we specialize in your individual needs to make sure your business shines. For more information, please call 301-417-0070 or visit us at our website at attronica.net. Attronica, where we deliver for you.
Take a break. Breathe. Why don't you visit the Peace Village Learning and Retreat Center, 518-589-5000.
Get off the grid and step inside your heart. Sister Jenna guides you through a powerful, encouraging, and motivating meditation that allows you to let go and become aware of you, regain strength, power, and peace.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vin Verga, author of The Soul of All Living Creatures, and I listen to America Meditating Radio.
I have been illusion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to America Meditating Radio. I'm your host, Sister Jenna, and that was Lifted by Bliss, one of my all-time favorites, and we're always happy when you can join us on the air because we want to see how best we can shift life and to move things around. This morning before I came into the studios, I had a breakfast meeting at the Four Seasons, which I love, FYI, and I had this wonderful discussion with a community leader, and really it was a little heartbreaking because they said they weren't going to vote. And I went, I designed this initiative entitled Meditate the Vote because despite whomever decides to come into office as per the written script or the preordained script or the destiny of time, we still need to voice our best of interest, regardless if it's Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. Just vote. Vote for someone, because if you are inactive, it's just going to be something in which you feel like I didn't do enough, I didn't participate enough. So it felt a little bit like, that's not what we want to do. We want to get involved. We want to make a difference. We want to feel passionate towards what's happening. And even if our choices are slim, we still have a choice to say, these are the things that I still expect from you because this is what I think that my country deserves. So I wanted everyone to just know that please go out and vote on November 8th, but also go to our meditatethevote.com website and download the toolkit where you get a chance to participate in sending us videos that basically you recording yourself saying, Sister Jenna, meditate the vote because I believe that animals should be our pets and not eaten on our table. So, send us a picture, download the Meditate the Vote image and take a picture with that. More than anything else, engage in the 4 key questions. Are you powerful enough? Are you worthy? What do you value the most about America? And tell us methods and ways in which you are creating more inclusivity than divisiveness. And so this is what Meditate the Vote is about. And so we're inviting the nation to really begin to optimize in their participation of this, especially universities. And what we would also like to do here at America Meditating, which we would do for Donald Trump as well, is that we would like to hold a few seconds of healing thoughts for our Secretary of State and presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, who suffered a bout of pneumonia. And it must be, when I see people mocking her in her illness, I'm like, gosh, have we gotten to that state? She's a child of God. She's not feeling well. Let us take a moment of reflection and love and healing vibrations and thoughts to a woman who has worked hard and has committed her life to be of service. Whether she's perfect or not, that's not my business. That's on her. But together as God's children, we send you pure feelings, pure wishes, healing thoughts, Secretary Clinton, wishing you well and wishing you lots of light. Stay tuned. We're going to have our wonderful friend on the air who was with me at the Meditation Museum, Paulette Benjamin from Compassion Over Killing. And we're going to have a heart-to-heart conversation about the importance of saving our animals. Before I get Paulette on the air, I'd like to take us into a little meditation, what we like to do best here, and then have our lovely Sister Gita evolve us into a space of calm and peace and power. So just for a moment, let's refocus our thoughts and take a deep breath.
Point of focus. Taking just a minute. Gently, I bring my energy away from the external. I bring all my attention up through my body to a point in the middle of my forehead, just above and behind the eyes, towards a single point of focus inside. I now look through my eyes as if they are windows. I am a still point of awareness, looking through the eyes to the world out there. I am the still point, silent and powerful.
All right, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Point of Focus from the Just a Minute Meditation CD by Sister Jenna.
Good morning to all of you. My day started this morning at 3:30, and I was just thinking about the song, Yoga, 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 meaning yoga, 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 yoga. More is needed. Now, I selected from the Book of Virtues, a pocket book on virtues by Daddy Yankee, and it's focused on compassion. And it reads, a kind soul has a compassionate approach to life and helps not only the minds of people to stay clear and focused and take it to a higher level of spiritual intelligence, but it also has compassion for animals. A compassionate person develops an eye for spotting the qualities that make each person special. Even when others are at their lowest, when they are at their lowest ebb, it is possible to help them restore their self-belief by keeping a firm, clear vision of their goodness and specialities, taking a gently encouraging approach. I must never give up on anyone. That is one of Sister Jenna's approach and speciality in life, always in incognito ways and in visual ways, helping to raise anyone who needs to be given that support. That, my love, is compassion. Om Shanti. Have a compassionate day.
Thank you. That was so sweet of you. I try my best, aiming for perfection, but enjoying and entertaining my imperfections. All right, everyone. Combining her passion for farm animal protection and empowering others, Paulette Benjamin recently joined the Compassion Over Killing team in the nation's capital as their outreach and events manager. Now, helping organize on a grassroots level for several years, she most recently represented Compassion Over Killing in the Citizens for Farm Animal Protection Coalition in Massachusetts. With a background in environmental science and aiding the homeless, Paulette brings analytical skills together with compassion for all beings, and today we welcome our dear friend, Paulette Benjamin, to the America Meditating Radio. Paulette, do you have a mic?
I do, I think.
Hi, welcome, my dear. I do.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We seem to be having a lot of karmas together.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about Compassion Over Killing and its advocacy for the protection of animals.
Yes, so I started in January, as you mentioned. I was with them in the fall. Compassion Over Killing, we just actually had our 20-year anniversary just last year, and we've been protecting farm animals for quite some time now. We do focus on farm animals instead of just companion animals or exotics. Farm animals are used and exploited on such a larger number than all the other animals in the country combined, and so we focus on those that sincerely do not have a voice. 98% of the animals in the U.S. are raised for food, so we focus on them and we try to expose what they endure, what they go through, and we also try to encourage vegetarian and vegan diets. We also do corporate campaigns to encourage restaurants and businesses to offer more compassionate choices for consumers as well.
Sounds pretty busy. Now, when we look at the statistics, they're quite overwhelming. When we held our Cooking for Peace at the Meditation Museum, were those numbers right, that 1 million animals are slaughtered per year for individuals to consume meat on their table? Is that accurate, or did I miss that?
Well, actually, that's a little bit low. It's 9 billion in the U.S. That's just in the U.S.
A little bit low, overwhelmingly low. Must have been the time I walked out of the room and walked back in. Jeez.
A 9 and a 1 can easily be misplaced. And if you look at the world, then it goes up to 56 billion. Now, the amazing part of that is that's only land animals. That does not include fish, seafood, etc. So it is very overwhelming. And if we just look at it that way, we can begin to feel very helpless. So I try not to focus on that as an individual, but that did motivate me as far as where I wanted to go. But as an individual, when we see these numbers, just realize that, this 9 billion in the U.S. alone, that, we have a role and that we can do something about that. But if you look at animals used for fur, animal testing, all of these things combined, it's just a fraction of what's used for food.
Now, I was born in Jamaica, and my mother's Jamaican and my dad's Indian, and so meat is a huge requirement on our table, from pork to chicken to beef. That was just what we were raised on, and of course, I became a vegetarian in my 20s because I had a very, very deep experience of God's light, and that just intuitively made me feel like, how can I put something that's dead in my body to expect it to give me life and health? But that just happened not because somebody told me to be vegetarian. It was just my own consciousness shift. My own consciousness shifted. But many people believe, because now I've survived, by the way, everyone listening in, I've survived eating meat for over 25 years, and I'm still healthy and doing well. And many people believe that you need to eat meat to get an adequate supply of protein. Is that true?
Absolutely not, fortunately. The strange thing is that the protein that is derived from animal products has been acquired in the animal product from them eating plants. So you can kind of look at eating vegetarian as cutting out the middleman. So if you simply eat the plants that the animals have eaten, you will be getting protein. So I look at it that way. But also, we have so many options. There are plenty of faux meats if people have those cravings, but also just a whole plant food diet is completely sustainable. There are a ton of legumes, beans, personal favorite of mine is black-eyed peas, but even kale, broccoli, even those have protein. But yeah, lentils are kind of a superfood as far as protein, and mung beans are quite high in protein, and most beans are high in protein. Of course, you have your soy products. Tempeh is a favorite, but yeah, there's protein out there galore for sure.
Got it. Now, as the public learns more about the conditions, back to the factory farms, meat considered to be certified humane has been gaining in popularity, and some activists call pilfer reforms and labeling of humanely raised and slaughtered animals. But others argue we can't work on reforms and promote animal rights at the same time. I mean, what are your thoughts? It's sort of like me being on a diet and having a chocolate cake and a Diet Coke.
Right.
Which I used to do, by the way, to justify my diet.
I think we all have. I think we all have. A cake and have a water with it. It makes sense. And as an individual, if that's what makes sense, then that's what makes sense. Incremental steps in social change, incremental steps have proven historically to be the way to get to different plateaus of success. So incremental change is crucial. It is critical to do that. And along those ways, for example, eliminating battery cages for hens. Now, while we might not think that the ultimate freedom for a chicken is to live in a huge barn with 5,000 other chickens, that might not be the ultimate freedom, but for those chickens it feels a lot better than being in a battery cage, which is the size of an iPad, where they shove 6 to 8 chickens at a time in there and they live their whole lives in it. So it matters to those 6 to 8 chickens. So incremental steps are crucial as long as they're understood to be steps, not the end goal. Does that make sense? Yeah, and as an individual, as a consumer, it's important to realize that regardless of the living conditions of an animal, the slaughterhouse door is the same for everybody.
Yeah, I go to India twice a year, and I mean, I've witnessed 20 people in like a VW. And I just know that just doesn't look right. And maybe that's also one of the reasons I don't eat meat, because that vibration when they all come out, and then, it's just rough for me. I'm not able to really embrace that.
Yes, compares it to an elevator. Get on an elevator, and other people get on an elevator until there's 10 of you, and then realize that you can never get off the elevator.
Give me my first-class seat on, Virgin Atlantic or something. Come on. All right. So I want to move to a vegan diet, which Antonia, our wonderful producer, who's smiling right now as I speak, who's a vegan, and has our whole staff and our whole chefs cooking just specially for her. And she's been trying to convert everyone here to be vegan. And I'm like the big cheese. I'm like, look, only her. No one else is going to go vegan because I still want my pizza. So tell us a little bit about a vegan diet. I know that former President Bill Clinton is on the vegan diet. I know that Ellen DeGeneres is on the vegan diet. I know that there are a lot of people who are supporting that. What are the benefits of vegan, and why isn't being a vegetarian enough?
So, and I was a vegetarian for a long time as well, so I do understand. The biggest difference between vegetarian and vegan, obviously, is the eggs and milk, cheese, and the cheese does cause a lot of people to stumble. The biggest difference is that once you begin understanding that animals have their own lives, their own desires, they have a life of their own volition, and then when we begin to think about consuming their milk, it's bizarre. You begin to think, well, wait, but I nursed from my mother when I was a baby. I would like that cow's baby to be able to have that same benefit, and we're taking that away from them when we consume those animal products. And also, you realize that these animals, they have their own mother-daughter relationships, mother-son relationships, and they're being ripped apart, and then we're consuming the products of that. And so on a compassionate level, it simply begins to not make sense. And you begin to see that, I went through the weaning process and I no longer need milk in my life. I had the milk that was designed for me by the world. I've benefited from it, and now I can move on. So you begin to see that there's a relationship that we're disturbing as humans. We are completely disturbing that relationship and throwing it entirely off balance. And also, on a vegan diet, you're not consuming the suffering. And cows involved in the dairy industry, chickens in the egg industry, these animals suffer innately more, so much more than animals that are simply slaughtered for food. I always say that if I were to ever come back as a factory farmed animal, I would want to be a cow. I would be killed, and that would be it. But as a dairy cow, it's a relentless over and over procedure until you're simply wasted physically, until you literally cannot get up, and then they are allowed to kill you in any way that they deem fit. So from that standpoint, we have to understand that to not engage in that much suffering and to not pay other people to engage in that much suffering, to not consume dairy, cheese, I know is so hard, but there are so many good vegan cheeses now, trust me, and eggs. We begin to realize that we can honor those motherly relationships in the world without exploiting them, and it's amazing. And you do feel a little lighter. You feel lighter once you quit eating meat. I did it so slowly I didn't notice a big change, but when I quit eating dairy, that's when I noticed a huge difference. My body felt cleaner, lighter, and less mucus in my diet, in my body.
Okay, that's
and
great.
As far as getting started on the vegan aspect of it, there are so many vegan cheeses now that will blow you away. So many different brands. Treeline, Miyoko, so many different artisanal cheeses that you will question whether it's actually non-dairy.
Not sold, but I'm going to work on it.
And cashew milk now, that is probably the creamiest non-dairy milk that I've ever had.
Really? Okay, I'll definitely try that one then.
Now,
good. Saturday, September 24th, you've got Compassion Over Killing that's hosting its annual big, massive, humongous D.C. Veg Fest in Washington, D.C. And I'm hoping that the Meditation Museum is going to have a booth there. Could you tell our listeners a little bit about what we can expect and where our listeners can find information about the D.C. Veg Fest?
Yes, it's at dcvegfest.com. It'll be, as you said, on Saturday, September 24th, down at Yard Park, downtown, very metro accessible. It's within a block, I think, of 2 metro stations. And we have 15,000 to 20,000 people anticipated coming. We have a ton of speakers. We have over 100 vendors. We'll have the best vegan food ever around from all over the East Coast. We'll have Leilani Munter, the vegan race car driver. We'll have Troy Washington, who is a plant-based bodybuilder. He's been vegetarian his entire life and vegan for a number of years. I can't remember exactly. But he also does not do any supplements. He gets all of his muscle from food. That's it. We also have a barking lot for all the pups in the area. We'll have a mobile adoption unit. We'll have a kids zone. And that area has almost its own entire schedule. So not only face painting and a moon bounce, but also theatrical production, Ask a Vegan Parent panel. We also, in the main tent, we'll have people from the Barnard Medical Center. So if you have any nutritional type questions, it's a great time to come out and get those answered. We'll have music going in the music tent. It's just a fun full day. It's from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and we give out free tote bags full of goodies to the first 1,000 people that come through.
Lovely,
and
lovely.
You do have a booth. Everybody come out and see Meditation Museum.
Thank you. Now, give us the address. How is parking? What's the best time to come?
The best time to come is all day. People do line up for the free tote bags, I will say that. So that line will probably start around at least 10 a.m. If you put 136 N Street into your GPS, then that will take you exactly to the parking area or the parking lot where it's held. There is no parking at the DC Veg Fest. So people are encouraged to Metro. It is the most accessible DC Veg Fest around. It is accessible by metro, bike, walking, kayak. It's right there on the river. And obviously by car, you just have to take your car elsewhere to park. And there are parking garages around too.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Paulette. I really always enjoy your gentleness in the way that you encourage us to understand the importance of our animals on the planet. That's one. The second one, to encourage someone like me who's a real hardhead to consider a diet that's vegan, where I have the arrogance of being vegetarian. And thirdly, the fact that you've committed to such an overwhelming uphill climb cause. I think we really appreciate your heart and your dedication, and just want to keep wishing you great success to all of our friends at Compassion Over Killing. You guys are doing amazing things, and wish for you to continue to do a lot more. Are there any closing remarks that you'd like to share with our listeners before we say Om Shanti, Salam Alaikum, Shalom, Amen, and C'est la vie?
Just visit us at dcvegfest.com or at tryveg.com if you would like to get more answers about how to start on a vegetarian or vegan diet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Same here. Appreciate you. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
So it has everything to do with education, folks. The more you know, then I guess the more your conscience has to make that call. You've got to think about what you are contributing to, sorrow or joy. And one of my students on Sunday was sharing that she's been a vegetarian now for about 2 years, and out of nowhere she had this thought of eating spare rib. So she went home and she started to cook, and then I asked her, what did you cook, spare rib? She says, oh, no. I took out some tofu turkey and I put some barbecue sauce on, and I laid it down and I baked it and I broiled it and cooked it, and I ended up eating it with sheer joy, and she totally forgot her desire for eating that cute little piggy that actually sacrifices his or her life for our tables. It's hard, I know, because it's a habit, and we've become very accustomed to it. But I do want to tell you, it's a painful habit to sustain when you think about the suffering that it is causing. And we have Happy, the little puppy mascot for the AM radio, and I don't know what I'd do if someone were to cut her open and put her in an oven and season her with black pepper and salt and then sit at a table and eat her. And I know it sounds, even when I just talk about it, it just feels like it's an abomination to the spirit. And so even if you do one day, Compassion Over Killing began this meatless Monday, and even if you just decide to pause on Mondays alone, to put aside meat, you would have contributed something. If you can't do the whole thing, but just even once a week, twice a week, give it a try. And if you'd like some really, really great vegetarian recipes, go to Yum Yum Yogi on YouTube. They've got some awesome recipes and very, very simple to make. But also, if you save an animal, you save yourself, a human being. I really feel that's very, very much so. Thank you for joining us on America Meditating Radio. And again, keep sending your pure wishes and good feelings to both of our presidential candidates. I'm sure they need it. Where is the empathy, America? Come on. Are we not supposed to be the most incredible civilization? Hasn't that been our marketing skills and marketing abilities and publicity throughout the entire world. So here, our country needs us. Our own selves need us, and our presidential candidates need our good wishes despite their behavior, or whether we feel they have integrity or not, whether they have filed countless bankruptcies, whether they have married many times, whether they are good or not good, whether they don't have integrity. I don't care. Look at your own life. Have you been unfaithful? Have you lied? Have you cheated? Have you been manipulative? Have you been something on the inside and something else on the outside? So maybe what you're seeing is yourself in these candidates. So what would you do to shift that? What would you do to change that? That's also an act of compassion over killing, I have to tell you. Anyway, let me not ramble on. Love you all very much. This is Sister Jenna signing out. You've been listening to America Meditating. We had Paulette Benjamin on from Compassion Over Killing. Visit their website at Compassion Over Killing. And remember, no one can take away your happiness unless you give them permission. And we really are here to love each other the same. So let's start now. Take care, everyone. We're going to end today's wonderful conversation with We Still Have a Lot to Learn by Lucinda. Take care.